I'm Maddi. I'm a provisional psychologist here at Graham Psychology. Today I'm discussing the pressure psychologists often face from referrers to provide diagnostic labels and how we can manage this in a way that stays clinically responsible while still meeting system expectations. This pressure can often come from multiple directions. We often see it from GPs and referrers who may need a diagnosis for funding or treatment pathways, from schools and universities who are seeking clarity for support planning, and from workplaces in relation to accommodation or documentation. It also comes from broader systematic requirements like reporting and eligibility criteria, and at times directly from clients themselves who are seeking understanding, validation, or a clear explanation of what they're experiencing. There are understandable reasons for this. Diagnostic labels can help streamline communication between professionals. They can support access to services or funding, and they can make complex presentations easier to categorise within systems that are built around diagnosis. In that sense, labels often function as a kind of shorthand that helps systems operate more efficiently. For clients, receiving a label can also feel very validating. It can give a name to what they're experiencing, which can reduce confusion and self-blame. It can also help people feel like their distress is being recognised and taken seriously, and in many cases it can open doors to practical supports or treatment options that may not otherwise be accessible. However, there are risks associated with diagnosing too early. At initial stages, assessments are often incomplete and symptom presentations can overlap across multiple conditions. We also need to consider contextual factors such as stress, environment, or developmental stage that can mimic or amplify clinical symptoms but may not reflect a fixed disorder. Additionally, early diagnostic impressions can change over time as we gather more information, and there is a risk that an early label can unintentionally shape identity or limit how both the client and clinician view the person. This can have a number of impacts. Some clients may begin to over-identify with their diagnosis, where the label becomes central to their identity. Others may experience reduced hope or feel that change is less possible. There can also be experiences of feeling boxed in or increased self-judgment or stigma. So while labels can be helpful, they can also unintentionally constrain how someone understands themselves. Because of this, our role often prioritises understanding over early categorisation. We aim to build a formulation that captures what is happening for the client, including patterns of thoughts, emotions, behaviours, and environmental influences. We focus on what is maintaining difficulties rather than just describing symptoms themselves in isolation. Importantly, we stay transparent about uncertainty and view formulation and diagnosis as evolving over time rather than being fixed at the assessment. With clients, this can be communicated in a collaborative and transparent way. For example, this is our understanding so far of what's going on. This helps normalise that it may change over time. We can also say things like, we'll keep reviewing this together as we learn more, or right now it's more helpful to focus on what's maintaining the difficulties rather than naming a diagnosis. This supports a shared formulation approach and reduces pressure around certainty too early. With referrers, communication often needs to balance clinical nuance with system expectations. We can use language such as, at this stage, assessment is ongoing and a definitive diagnosis cannot yet be confirmed. Or, current formulation suggests the presentation is best understood in the context of. We can also note that diagnostic impressions will be reviewed as further information becomes available. This allows us to remain clinically accurate while still providing useful information for referral and planning purposes.